Hello and welcome to my video review of the Pentax K-50 DSLR camera. It's pretty much entry level if you're getting a DSLR camera for the first time. I used to take photos on my mobile phone, which was great, but I wanted to move up a step. And although this isn't a full frame camera, it's very, very good indeed, and the picture quality is exceptional, at least in terms of what I think. So, having used it for just over a year, I'd like to show you some of the pictures that I've taken and explain what I do like about it and what I don't, in case you're thinking of buying it and would like to know whether it's the camera for you. So here's what I've found so far. I really love the way that everything fits really nicely under your fingers. It's very ergonomic and it's not too heavy in your hands. It does get heavy when it's on your shoulder for a long time, especially if you're carrying a bag with a spare lens and a tripod. But the actual unit itself feels really good to hold. It's a little on the heavy side, but not too bad. Everything fits nicely under your fingers, like the actual button for the shutter up here. And taking a picture is really easy. You just put your finger on it and push gently, and then that will actually focus. Like that, and then push harder. There we go, just like that. So taking pictures is easy, and it's all stored on memory card. There's no onboard storage with this, so you have to have a memory card. I've got one of these SanDisk 32GB memory cards. It writes at 90 megabytes a second, which is important because if you're taking, especially in burst mode, if you take lots of pictures in quick succession, after 5 or maybe 6 pictures, it will have to just pause and then buffer while it writes. It has to write to this, you see. So you can't take too many pictures in burst mode before it has to just have a couple of seconds just to catch up with itself, and then you can take some more. That can get in the way, but it just means that you have to be more selective when you actually press the shutter button and then take your pictures. So it's not too bad. I do wish that it had Bluetooth though to send the pictures to a different device. As it is, you can put in a USB cable here, but I find it's easier just to take out the memory card and put that in my Mac and then upload the pictures to my Mac and then put this back in. Got a nice full color screen on the back, which is really high quality, and you can see it in pretty bright sunlight as well. Sometimes you have to hold your hand over it so that you can see properly if you're looking back at the pictures you just took. I do wish that the screen on the back flipped round so that you could vlog with it, so you could set it on a tripod and see yourself framed. It's very difficult to do that sort of thing if you're on your own. But I wouldn't actually use this for vlogging anyway, even though this takes pretty decent HD imagery. There's only a microphone built in. You can't connect your own microphone to the device, and the built-in microphone is pretty dreadful. So really I wouldn't recommend this for taking video at all unless you're planning to use a different soundtrack. I do have 2 different lenses. I got this one bundled in if I paid an extra £25 when I bought it. The camera was £375 when I bought it from Jessop's in the high street. And for an extra £25 they threw in this zoom lens, which is absolutely sensational. This on its own would usually be £300, so I got myself a very good deal there, I think. But switching between the 2 lenses is easy. You just push this little button here and then twist, and then the lens comes off, and then you can substitute it for the other one and then back on like that, and away you go. So it's very, very simple. It's got all the advanced settings that you could hope for in a camera of this ilk. The ISO setting is obviously the most important in terms of deciding whether you want to take a static image with really high quality colours, or if you want to sacrifice some of the image quality and go for a faster moving thing, like for instance a bird flapping its wings, or a duck, you know, when there's water cascading everywhere. If you set to a higher ISO, either 6400 or 12800, then you can get some really, really great pictures. But you do have a trade-off there. There's some digital noise when you do that, and so you'll probably need some kind of post-processing program like Adobe's Lightroom or Photoshop. I use Lightroom. I bought the Creative Cloud license for £8.57, I think it is, every month, and that gives me Lightroom and Photoshop, and then I'm able to digitally develop my pictures. The other thing that you should bear in mind is that this takes 2 different types of pictures. You can either have JPEGs, which are ready to roll as soon as they come off the camera, then you can publish them, they look fantastic, but also it takes RAW. Now, RAW images are much bigger file size because they're not compressed at all. They are something like 15 megabytes a picture on the highest setting, which is pretty huge. But they don't ditch any of the data. So if you're looking at area that's in shadow, if you use Lightroom to boost that shadow, suddenly you'll get a load of detail come out that wasn't there. You didn't think it was there before. And that looks fantastic, and that's because you're using RAW. JPEGs will ditch too much of the data to enable that kind of editing. But RAW images do have to be edited because you can't use most of them straight off the camera. They do need a lot of work done to make them look good. But when they do look good, they look exceptional. So in summary, I'd say that this camera is brilliant value for money if you're looking for a way into DSLR photography. It may not have the kind of ease of use in terms of sharing stuff, and it doesn't have the microphone socket, but the battery life is exceptional. The quality of the photographs is just unreal. It really is. It may not be a full frame sensor, but it's really, really good. And basically I've used it for over a year now, and I'm still really excited every time I go to use it. It's just brilliant. I highly, highly recommend it. So with the shortcomings, the few shortcomings, I would still give it 4.5 stars out of 5. Yep, that's my personal recommendation. I love this thing. It's exceptional for the price, and it's been my companion, very usable, always ready to take a great picture, and it's got all the advanced stuff there as you become more au fait with the different techniques of taking digital photos. So, if you'd like to see some more photos that were taken with it, if you hit this link here, then you can see some pictures that I took with this very camera over the last year. And otherwise, please hit like and subscribe. I've got music content on my channel, some video game content, and if you like my teeth, I've also got my Invisalign diary, so check that out too. Thanks very much for watching. Take care.